Hello traders, and welcome to Trading the Trend. I am Dennis, and yes, that's me, and I'm doing a little multitasking there. And let's get right into our markets. And here I am looking at the S&P 500 weekly chart, and as you can see by this candle here, it was not a particularly good week. We actually were looking really good on Tuesday as price was all the way up here. Looked like we might finally get that breakout move higher, but Wednesday, Thursday, and especially Friday, things just went south on us. So we're right now at a critical point. If you actually look this at the daily, we might even have broken that critical point. As you can see, we went right through the 50-day moving average, and we're now below the 50-day. We haven't been below the 50 days since back here in February. So that's a pretty significant break. We'll have to see if there is continuation. As you can see, there's really no support here once this thing starts to move lower. So let's hope that something happens. Maybe we get a news announcements and we can get this thing moving back up. Now let's take a look at some commodities. And here is the gold miners. Let's actually look at it on the weekly. And we've had now 2 weeks of consolidation. 3 weeks ago we had the big up candle, and now we've had consolidation. We've come right down to the breakout point and have rejected that breakout point 2 weeks in a row. And we're closing well off the lows. So not looking too bad here for the gold miners. Gold is pretty much the same way. Had the big candle up 3 weeks ago and just a couple inside candles, consolidation. So this is all looking pretty good. I'm not too worried about the metals right now. Let's look at oil. A good up week. We had one down week, and if you look at this stretch going back to February, we've only had 3 down weeks, and so it's been pretty bullish for oil. Surprisingly, this move up in oil didn't help the Canadian dollar much. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And let's move on to our currencies. And here is as of close, my strong week rankings as of close on Friday, and we have the yen and the US dollar are both looking good right now. With US stock markets selling off, you're in a risk off environment, and risk off means everyone's moving to safety, and the yen and the US dollar are considered safe haven currencies, so they're doing quite well. Your Aussie is your risk on trade, and since risk is off, the Aussie continues to get beat up pretty much. As you can see, it is the weakest currency of my rankings. Now let's take a look and see how all that is playing out in some actual currency pairs. We'll look at some weekly charts here. Here, excuse me, here is the Euro US dollar, and we've had that consolidation. It's now gone about a year and a half. And 2 weeks ago we tried to break out, but then we had the pin bar reversal, and then this past week we had some continuation from that pin bar. This is actually a beautiful setup here. I need to maybe do a video just dedicated to this setup. A lot of information on this, just this one setup here. But right now we've had a continuation. We're still in a nice little stepping up pattern, so maybe this ends shortly and we head back up. Too soon to tell. Certainly there's nothing that says this just can't continue all the way down to the bottom of this range, so we'll be watching it closely. Important level would be the low of this last blue candle. We don't want to see price go below that. If it does, that will be a lower low, and that would kind of end our 6-month uptrend here. Now looking at the Aussie US dollar, you can see the Aussie's just been getting beat up here ever since the Australian National Bank had their rate decision where they lowered interest rates. The Australian dollar has been devalued against other currencies and is just heading lower. You'll see the same thing if we look at the Euro Aussie. Same situation. The Euro is just climbing big time against the Aussie right now. Didn't move a whole lot this past week, but this could just be resting for the next wave up. Some other things to look at is the US yen. We moved all the way down to where we almost got to this 200-week moving average, and prices pulling back a little bit. Still very much a stepping pattern down, so maybe once this pullback concludes, it might have already concluded since we finished well off the top. I definitely would look for this to continue to move lower. Another one to look at is the US dollar, Canadian dollar. 2 weeks ago we had the big up candle, and then we had a doji this past week, so maybe this pullback is over. Oil prices are still moving higher, so you would expect this currency pair to be moving lower. It didn't happen this past week. Maybe it will this coming week, so I'm looking for a way to get into this on the short side. I do have a target of 120 down here, still very valid. And that's what I have for you for our currencies, and that's my look at the markets for this week. So hopefully everyone has had a great weekend, and I will catch y'all later on my thread.